Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the recap of the Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week to discuss the latest episodes. You can catch our recaps at any time, available on most major podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. For those of you joining us live tonight, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am Tamara Ford, and I love a good TV show and a good book. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey Tamara, hey everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the owner of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. If you would like to find me online, you can find me everywhere at Lisa Orban Author.
All right, so if you are catching this on a replay, you can still comment on this on any platform or by using the voicemail link in the show notes. We want to hear from you and possibly include your comments. And of course, you guys live, we always want your feedback while we're here chatting. So please hit us up on YouTube or Facebook in the comments section. So if you are new here to the podcast, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Absolutely. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Yes, no scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around. Huge spoiler alert for
Hello? I think we just lost Tamara. This isn't good. Well, hey guys. For the people that have arrived, can you hear me? Am I all here alone? Can you hear me, Karina? Or Cleo? I don't know what's happening. I know, right?
Tamara? Lord, connection problems right off the rip. This is just typical.
Okay. I was asking them, I'm like, I can't hear Tamara. She went away. Can anyone hear me?
Look, this is how my life has been. Perfect example. Here we go. This is fitting.
She has rejoined us. Okay.
I'm back. So today we are talking about episode 13, The Raft.
Mm-hmm.
Take two.
Okay. So what'd you think? I want your opinion first.
You know what? I enjoyed the episode overall. I didn't expect it to end the way it did, which I want to get into when we start, the discussion. But it was entertaining overall. I didn't have any big issues. It was a good one, I think. What about you?
It was palatable.
Oh, Lord, palatable.
Yeah. I mean, I only cringed a couple of different times, so it wasn't. I don't know. You go because I'm just gonna. I'm feeling pretty hateful towards Fear the Walking Dead at this point in my life, and
look, okay, so if I were to complain about something, it would be Sherry's character. I feel like she is annoying.
We've always thought that, though.
Yeah, we have. And she has not changed at all. Even though she and Dwight have had plenty of conversations. It seemed like they're on the same path, the same shelf, the same book, the same page.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they aren't.
Right. Well, and because she gets... and I know that it all comes back to how Dwight acted when they were with the Saviors. And I get that. Except I also want to point out that Sherry's the one that pushed him to do that.
Right.
That whole Saviors thing was her idea, which may be part of her reasoning because, she's feeling some guilt for making him go through that. But honestly, her whole thing this whole time has just been run away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so she didn't even stick around to see if Dwight was okay or not. She's the one that forced him back into the Saviors after they escaped with her little sister. And when she died, they went back to the Saviors and they stole Daryl's motorcycle, I might add. Um, and then, and then when she had a chance to take off, she didn't even try to take Dwight with her. She just left. She didn't even make sure that he was okay. So, and then she just went on the run. I honestly, it honestly to me comes down to the fact that Dwight loves Sherry more than Sherry loves Dwight. Honestly. It Tamara? Oh my god. I think she's gone. Again. All right, guys. So I just want to say, I I'm gonna end up talking to everyone that's commenting right now because Tamara keeps disappearing and I don't know what else to do. So, but no, I mean, overall, it wasn't a terrible episode, but I mean, we've got old things coming up again, between Dwight and Sherry, which is just a rehash of The Walking Dead. And, and everyone's doing everything for this baby. And it's not that I don't think that you should protect the young. Hey, Tamara, are you back?
I am back.
Hey, look, I'll carry on without
I
you.
swear, I don't even understand. I'm like, what is she talking about? Sorry, y'all.
I was talking about basically Dwight and Sherry's whole thing. It's a rehash of from The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight, honestly, in my opinion, loves Sherry more than Sherry's ever loved Dwight.
Absolutely. And we've said that the whole entire time. And this is not cute to me. None of it is cute.
No,
Um,
she's almost abusive to him.
yeah. And the fact that in the very beginning, she just straight up lied. I mean, not only
Yeah,
she just lies to him. Like she used him like a damn puppet. Like he has no common sense. He doesn't know how to do or think of for himself. So she has to manipulate him.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't like it. But now that they're preggers, um,
Everything's changed again. It's all wonderful.
yeah,
They're in it together.
for
You know,
now.
for now. Well, I
But
mean, because when Dwight and Sherry got back together again, I mean, they had this whole thing, and Sherry promised to never lie to him again, and now what's she doing? Lying to him, you know?
yeah, I do wonder though, because nothing can be happy, right? So
Right.
now that she's pregnant, I wonder if the show is going to kill off Dwight.
I hope no, I hope not. I hope they kill her off.
I would hope. Okay, so if I had to choose between the two characters, I would prefer to keep Dwight, but that
Yeah.
would be really bad to kill off a pregnant character.
Oh, they've killed off pregnant. I mean, well, let her have the baby, then she dies. She can absorb, you know, maybe she can absorb all the radiation for the baby this time. You
Oh
know,
god.
since in this show science doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it might be the end for him though because just nothing can be happy and I don't know. I wish it were Sherry, but I don't think they'll do it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and my other thing is the fact that with this baby, so everything right now for like the last I don't know how many episodes has really revolved around the baby.
The baby.
You
Now there's
know,
another baby possibly.
right? But and again, it's not that I'm against saving the young. That's the whole point of civilization. The next generation, and there's no point in going on if there isn't one. Because then the human race just ends. It's the world of the dead. But
Can
that
I
being
just
said,
say though, I kind of like hate baby plot devices
yeah,
in general.
and that's kind of where I was going. I mean, because everyone right now in this show apparently is motivated for Mo to be their legacy. Well, one, I hope there's more kids. Okay,
Mm,
and if Sherry's pregnant, at least there'll be two. And I'm pretty sure from everything the walkthroughs that we have seen in the tower, there are other children in there.
right.
It wasn't just Mo. The only reason that you know what's his name took such an interest in her is because Morgan. This was Morgan's baby now.
Mhm.
And that's the only reason Strand cared about it. It was
Mhm.
a dig at him, at Morgan.
Mhm.
And so everyone's like invested all their eggs in this one baby basket. And to me it just doesn't make any sense. And even if they were
Mhm.
fighting for the tower, one, I don't think Strand would have killed the baby. I don't think. But number two, it was just as safe inside the tower if they had attacked it with baby Mo in there.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
really think it would have made that much of a difference. And
It wouldn't have, because he would have protected the child anyway.
exactly. And if the whole plan was to get those walkers away from there, then why didn't they just plan it? They could have made
That
sure that
that whole
crater
thing was a
was,
fiasco.
yeah, they could have made sure that the crater was secure.
Yeah.
And now we of course know that someone's letting him out, so that's going to be that's our little carrot for what's coming next, whoever those
Yeah.
people are.
But the question is who let them
Right.
out?
Exactly. You let the dogs out. Um, but I mean,
Yeah.
but honestly, I mean, the one, the idea that Morgan had, which was, lead the walkers away. They could have basically did like what they did over on Fear, and that hook up some horses to some stereo, to a platform with some stereo equipment, and lead them away with music. They
Right.
could have drawn every single walker in that area out from there, and left Morgan fairly defenseless at that point, because he
Mhm.
depends on those walkers to keep the the tower safe.
Mhm.
So I mean, basically they could have just they could have split up into two group, or one small group to protect the horses, to take them out to the killing field, so or the hole in the ground, and the others could have then attacked the tower because it would have been defenseless.
Yeah, they were all kind of scattered about this episode. They couldn't mobilize to do something like that. Um like, first off, what they're trying to all, get off of the, what do you call it now? The submarine. They're all
Yeah.
like, "Oh, radiation's leaking."
Right,
So
radiation's leaking. Uh-huh.
they need to, skedaddle out of there. They have no place to be, and now Morgan's off doing God knows what in the ocean.
Mhm.
It's a mess right now, and
Oh, he's not even in the ocean yet. He's in an
he's
inlet.
in like a bay or something.
He's not even in the ocean yet. He's just, he's
Yeah.
gonna float for a while. And I don't know about you, but with the way things are, I don't know that I'd trust a blow up dinghy.
You know what though? I think that I wouldn't want to be out that far in that thing. As long as I could swim to shore, I'd
Yeah,
stay close enough that I could swim if I had to.
right. I mean,
Uh,
on a dinghy like that, I mean, unless you're forced to, because your ship has gone down in the middle of the ocean. This should be a coast hugger.
yeah. Well, it's
And
supposed to hold 6 people, and it's him and a baby. So weight-wise,
yeah,
they're good. Just
right.
hopefully they don't come across like any walkers in the water,
Or storms,
or yeah, or storms.
or debris in the
Mhm.
water.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, if I had been them, do you know what I wouldn't have used that dinghy. They know that there's another boat out there, a seaworthy boat, for the woman
Yeah.
they sent onto the tower. I mean,
Yeah,
if
the
she's with
very
Morgan,
first woman. Where's her boat?
yeah, because we know if Morgan let her in, he ain't letting her out.
Mhm.
And if they're going to be doing this quickly, I don't know why they just didn't borrow her boat.
Like, "Hey, lady, go ahead to the tower. Tell us where your boat is." Well, I guess who thinks of that, right? I mean,
Me.
yeah. Well, these characters don't.
you know that's I would have went and stole her boat. Because again, she's out looking for her son. She ain't coming back until she finds him.
Yeah.
Or at least for a good piece. And honestly, Morgan is, he's talking about how far the radio transmission is from the tower. It can be heard from long distances. And if he hears that it's all safe, then he'll go back. But if it's not safe, he's just going to keep the boat because honestly, that woman is either dead or she's gone. She's gone.
Do you think that Morgan will return in this season? Do you think he'll like I kind of feel like he might show up in the finale because I can't see them just like really just sending him off like adios like that. It
No,
just
I'm
seemed
sure
weird, you know.
he'll be back. I mean, I it might take him longer to get back because again, there's no motor and he's going to be trying to fight against current.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think he'll be back because here's the thing. This is something we all know. They're either going to win the tower, and I'm sure they're going to get the stupid tower.
Mhm.
Um, which means that they're going to send the call out, everyone come back. Morgan will hear it and he will return. Now, again, he's going to have to fight against the current or beach the boat and walk back. One or
Or
the
he'll
other.
return with Madison in tow.
Right. Which could happen as well.
Mhm.
Um,
I got back
but
up.
well, and I really so we've all been wondering if there was going to be a showdown between Strand and Morgan, and it turns out no, because they have now taken Morgan off the chessboard, and they're straight up trying to make it a fight between Strand and Alicia.
Which apparently it comes to light that really she didn't want to have that fight. Like
Mm-hmm.
what you been doing, girl? You been gone. Where's your back? Where are your people? What you been out
Right.
here doing?
What has she been? I mean, and that's a really good question because
Yeah,
I mean, the way Morgan's talking, sorry guys, she's been gone for weeks. Not
yeah.
hours, not days, but weeks. Where have you been? We didn't know where you were. You weren't, answering our calls. Where have you been? You know, and so I mean, either she hasn't been able to, either she couldn't raise anybody by radio, um, because the woman in the boat heard Strand,
Yes.
but apparently not Alicia. And
No, Alicia is just like, I don't understand what she's doing.
I don't know, apparently just
She's
out wandering the plains. And honestly, if she hadn't run into Morgan while he was out there trying to get the walkers, I'm not sure she would have. I don't think she was on her way back to the sub. I think she
no,
was
it
just out
didn't
there
seem.
wandering around.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Because even, when Morgan had to tell her, like, look, we got to do this today. Like, now we got to do this
Hmm.
now. She's like, we're not ready. No, no, no. She's pushing back. She doesn't want to do it. Not
No,
really.
and the thing of it is she's the one that initially threw down the gauntlet
I know, but now she all scary. I'm like, I don't understand.
because Morgan essentially did say that her and her people could come into the tower.
Hmm.
He did. He gave them that offer. Basically everyone was invited in except Morgan.
Yeah.
And Alicia's the one that said no. And here's the thing. If she really wanted to push him out of power, all she had to do is say, okay, and move all of her people in there and say, see you in 5. You know,
Right.
and the first time Strand let his guard down, which he does often with her, she could have killed him.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's going to happen? I feel like she will live. Strand will not die because she's too chicken shit to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's either gonna just compromise or apologize or something. It's gonna be some BS. That's what's gonna happen. It would shock me if she actually defeats Strand in a way that causes him harm. It would
Yeah.
shock me. She clearly
Okay.
doesn't want to do it.
I had one of those funny, stupid ideas because again, science doesn't matter in this show.
No, it doesn't.
So we all know that Alicia was bitten. We all know that she's having these fever dreams and her body can't seem to figure out what it's doing. And I just had this image of her biting Strand's hand and turning him into a zombie.
Oh my god, that would actually be not the worst thing ever.
you know, he pisses her off and she bites him. You know,
I think that would be entertaining. But would he turn? That's the question.
Again, like I said, it's under the stupid heading, but honestly, it would be funny.
It would be funny.
And then I mean, at that point, we would actually know whether or not she's carrying the zombie virus.
She's got something, but she's not going anywhere, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, even this episode, she wasn't looking as deathly as she normally does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's because makeup couldn't get it right or she's actually not looking as deathly.
I mean, and the thing of it is, because she's, everyone's kind of tossing around the whole zombie, viral thing and yada yada. I mean, it just could easily be that she has leukemia.
Oh my.
Or she could have something else where she, because she was already, sick, and having amputating an arm is, not, exactly minor surgery.
Mhm.
And everything else, I mean, it could be radiation. She could have something from radiation poisoning. She could have leukemia. Leukemia would actually explain all of her symptoms. you
Hmm.
know she could have something that has nothing to do with the apocalypse. And I mean, again, if this was real life,
Right.
um but like I said, it would be really kind of funny because if she bit Strand and he turned, then they would know.
You are a carrier. You are carrying that
Yeah,
around.
you're
Yeah.
a carrier,
Mhm.
but you're not turning.
Yeah.
She's like in that in between stage.
Mhm.
So I mean, that would be one way to confirm it. Doing an experiment. She could bite Strand.
You guys, you
Okay,
think they'll do something like that?
they
I don't
won't.
think so.
They won't. I'm just saying it would be funny. Okay,
Yeah.
it would it would increase my enjoyment of the show. You bit me.
Oh my god. um well, speaking of, I think that is one thing that increased my enjoyment of this episode was it seemed like a lot of things happened. Like we got forward momentum
Mhm.
some ways that we haven't gotten in a couple episodes.
We at least
So
know a significant portion of time has gone on.
right.
So it's not just been days. It's been a couple weeks at least.
Hmm.
So we're moving forward slowly.
Slowly but surely. And oh, I have got to talk about Wes. Man, his ass
Oh yeah,
is the worst.
turncoat.
I cannot believe he is like. Now I thought it was bad at the end of last episode, but I'm like, wow, he is really like he's like 100% knee deep in it. Like,
Yeah. Now he did say when he was talking to Dwight and Sherry, was it Dwight or just Dwight and Sherry? Either way, when he was making his little proclamation, well, at least Negan doesn't lie about who he is. You guys made me believe, you know, and then everyone deceived me. Oh, you whiny ass baby.
basically, I mean, I do feel like he's about to die. He's not coming out this season alive. He signed his death warrant. Goodbye.
Although I
I hope
will
the
say I do know that by watching the previews for next week, he's still alive. He managed to make it through the horde.
Yeah, and I still think he will die. Not next week, but before we have 3 more episodes in this season.
Hmm.
That's plenty of time for him to croak. I just can't believe that he would, especially if we know, the good team, quote unquote, will
Hmm.
get control of that tower, right? Unless,
Yeah,
who knows, maybe soft hearted Alicia will just let everyone be. Who knows?
she might.
Mm-hmm.
I can also see um Strand killing Alicia at about the same time that Madison shows up to look for her and finds out
Oh,
Strand killed her.
uh,
Can you? I can see that. Can you see that?
that would be, I could, but that would be outrageous because
Have you met this
Madison would
show?
be so hurt.
Have you met this show?
I know. It,
Of
that would be
just
so extreme, though.
But I mean, think about it. maybe, she might have heard Matt, if Alicia did get a message out, maybe, to people. Maybe she heard it, and so she's on her way to Alicia. But by the time she gets there, Strand's already killed her, and I could then see a confrontation between, Madison and Strand at that point. And that's the big, battle at the end.
Uh, I
I
don't
could,
know.
but again, when it comes to talking about predictions on the show, since they're not really using logic or reason, um, I don't know. I mean, I can say that, you and I could come up with 100 different scenarios that make sense, and then we get what we have, which is like, why would they do that? You
I
know,
know.
why would Dory knock him out instead of killing him? Why, he had him knocked out instead of even killing him. He could have wrapped, tied this guy up and tied him up and thrown him in a closet.
Yeah. And
You
then
know,
everyone could have just walked on in.
yeah, and then let it, basically he could have, because everyone knows now that he's Strand's number two. He could have gotten on the radio and said, "Hey, Strand just said, he's worried about such and such." And sent off most of the Rangers and then reposition the rest of them so he could let everyone in. Because he
Mhm.
knows now how to get in and out of the tower.
Mhm. Mhm.
So why didn't he do that? That would have made sense. He didn't even have to kill Strand. I mean, at that point, they could have let Alicia in and she could have killed him. If they really wanted it that way.
Well, they
You
have
know,
to write themselves out of this hole they dug. So, Alicia was gone,
right,
supposedly getting these people, some random people from nowhere.
right.
And
Well, but I mean, the thing of it is they could have used Strand's tower to send the message out. Strand's been pacified. Everyone come in. Alicia, in theory, would have heard it and returned. And then she could have decided his fate.
end of story. We're done. 'Cause
Right.
that's it.
Now let's do a time jump and get us the hell out of this nuclear apocalypse.
I mean,
You know?
honestly, I feel, and I feel like other people feel as well, that a time jump is imminent. It will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
I
has
hope it
to.
happens just in time for Sherry to, for us to skip her whole damn pregnancy. Like, I have zero interest in seeing this woman pregnant. She is so non-maternal, even when she was helping Momo, baby.
Yeah.
I'm like, she comes off like she doesn't have one maternal bone in her body. But anything's possible. But I would like to skip all of that. Skip the baby phase, skip it all, and
Mm-hmm.
bam, the kid's like 10 years old.
Right. Right.
Everyone
Make
is
them
10 years
5
older.
even.
Yeah, even
Five
5.
would be okay. As they're walking, they're talking, they're mildly entertaining.
Yeah, so we
Um,
will be out of the apocalypse, we'll be out of the whole radiation thing and all the pregnancy crap. Well, you can just skip it all.
just as Karina is saying that it's going to be a full 6 to 8 year jump. Good.
Okay, then give me the whole 8 years then. Give it
Yeah.
all to me. As much as you can give to, make these shows on the same footing, do it. Go as far
Mm-hmm.
as you can go.
Um, I gotta tell you, after I watch, the episodes and stuff, I'm not looking ahead, for like next week's episodes or anything. Um, but I've been starting to follow like Screen Rant,
Mhm.
and I'm here to tell you, the hate is strong.
Oh, I know. Screen Rant hates them. I feel like TV Insider really hates
Oh
them. Have you
yeah.
read any articles from them?
Yeah. I mean, and they're all basically saying the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm invested, so I'm watching it, but
right.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, and it's
And
full of, you know what? Everyone hates it.
right. And
At least
and
these pro
everyone,
reviewers anyway.
yeah. I mean, and they're all basically saying the exact same things we are. None of
Mhm.
this makes any sense. And they're in agreement. They all hate this apocalypse scenario. And a lot of them are calling for the runners to be replaced because they're just randomly groping for storylines instead of it's like they have no idea what they're doing from episode to episode, and they're just like jerking these characters around left and right, so none of them make any sense, none of them are consistent you know
Yeah, they're just they're doing whatever. They're just they're not plotting far enough ahead for things to make sense. They're just skipping from episode to episode at a
Mhm.
time and trying to make things work
Yeah.
as they go along instead of looking like at a bigger picture and trying to
Mhm.
plot that way. I feel
You
like
know
when you're working in a world this big, when things eventually have to connect, you know what I mean? Things have to
Mhm.
make sense since it's the same world. You should be looking at the bigger picture, the bigger plan when you're making these stories. It just
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, why, before going into the season, when someone said, "Oh, let's have an apocalypse," why didn't anyone plot this thing out?
mhm,
Okay, why didn't they have, I don't know, look up on Wikipedia for God's sakes what radiation poisoning would do. All right,
mhm.
and what are what's going on and so on and so forth. Um, and they didn't do any of that. So this is all. I mean, they're winging it with, and they're making up storylines that, like I said, that they completely disregarded all reality, all science, all common sense.
Yeah, they need to like straight up take a page out of Marvel's book, like, or any author that has written a long running series with
Hmm.
spinoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
anybody who does that kind of thing. My goodness, this was a mess.
I
So
mean, because
let's
there's a
see.
lot. I mean, there have been a lot of shows that are like, okay, my vision is to have 5 seasons, and they have the whole story arc planned. And again, The Walking Dead is more open ended. Don't get me wrong, but they can go, okay, here is our vision for the whole arc of this season. And if they knew that they were going to have an apocalypse come up at the end of the one season, they should have already started working on the arc for the next one.
Exactly.
You
And they
know,
knew when The Walking Dead, they knew, like all of us knew The Walking Dead was ending, right? So
yeah,
they've had enough time to sort out how to get back on the right path
right.
in a timely manner. So,
So it's just, I mean, it's just really frustrating because on a good show, you and I should be able to make at least a 50-50 call on what's going to happen next because the characters make sense. That there's a defined, parameters on what characters can do within the world they live in because it's consistent. And nothing here is consistent. And they even threw in that, the the water one with the submarine, the backstory for the submarine. They weren't even consistent with how the zombie apocalypse started with that. The whole thing was just kind of thrown together without any thought
yeah, that
to,
broke the rules. That
yeah.
the continuity was broken with that story.
Yeah. And they're breaking continuity left and right.
Mhm.
So I'm having difficulties.
I know. Karina says Ian and Andrew used up all the goodwill they built up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just pay them out of their contract and
Definitely.
send them on their way, and I'm good with that. I would be, they could bring
Mhm.
in,
Mhm.
they could bring in one of the showrunners from, Fear, or not Fear, but for The Walking Dead,
Right.
because we know that they've wrapped. So for the next
Yeah.
season, they could bring in,
Unless they're saving Angela for the spinoff shows. Like
nope, they're not.
let's use she's not coming back.
She's not going to Daryl's. I know that one.
Okay, she could be on the other one.
Hmm.
I mean, I would want honestly, I would want the star on the show that I want to survive the most
Yeah.
to do the best.
So I
Um,
mean, I don't know. It's just, I mean, as far as visually, yeah, I mean, visually the show is great. It really is. They do a good job with the walkers. They've done, the sets are pretty good. But I got to tell you, the dialogue, the story, and the development all suck.
honestly, I'm tired of like and Fear has always had this excuse me, I have like a frog in my throat. Fear has always had like this off and on color tone thing that I don't
Hmm.
like. I've never liked it, but some years it's like less irritating than others.
Right. Well, and then they also they've been meandering into that whole metaphysical thing. Alicia is, following literally a dream at this
Yeah.
point. We had the whole dream sequence with Grace when she was, in labor.
Mhm.
Um, and there's been a couple other times where it's been very metaphysical. I'm like, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
What is this? Why are we wasting our time and efforts on these stupid subplot things that mean nothing, go nowhere, and don't affect the reality of the situation at all?
It's all over the place, just to be honest. It's
Yeah,
all over.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, this, was this the worst episode? No, it was not the worst one. It was palatable. Um,
Yeah, I still liked it for its entertainment value, although, and like I said, I liked it because it moved the plot a little bit. Like, we
mhm.
know the showdown is probably going to happen, or at least start next episode, right?
They're walking off to storm the tower.
Right. Um, and then of course they're going to do, of course, again, Morgan is gone, be gone for 2 episodes probably, and
Right.
then show up in the finale.
Hmm.
I don't know. I didn't mind this episode. I thought I didn't mind an episode focused on Dwight and Sherry, even though Sherry annoys me.
Yeah.
um,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't mind that. I mean, and I think my biggest issue, like you, I don't like Sherry. And
Mhm.
Sherry, I haven't liked Sherry since the first time she was introduced over in The Walking Dead. She's, I don't know. She's shifty, and she's not trustworthy, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Her only redeeming quality is, at this point, is Dwight loves her.
And I don't know why. I can't figure it out. What?
Because Dwight is a kicked puppy, and let's face it, even before his face was burnt, he was hitting out of his league with her. You know,
She's the alpha and he likes it.
yeah. So, um, you know, so yeah, it's I mean, and he does, body and soul. This man loves her. He has traveled across, finding, looking for clues to find her. Um, and she has rejected him how many times?
So, too many to count.
Right. So
And
I
he's
don't
still,
know.
even after being accused of being a weakling who can't make his own mind up, he's
Hmm.
yelling at her like, "We've talked about this. Why?" And he's still, you know, he stays with her. I guess, it's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's all
He knows
fine.
she's crazy, and that's the kind of crazy he likes.
Right. Well, and I mean, and I guess, it is the apocalypse. It's not like you have dating services or anything. So, go with the crazy, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I mean, they are one of the very few married couples that were married before the apocalypse, you
Right.
know. So I'll give them that.
Because, I mean, even that scene where, like, Dwight was trying to be all nice and sweet toward Momo, and he made her a automobile, which was the
Mhm.
lamest joke. But, Sherry is like, "What are you doing?" She's
Mhm.
like reprimanding him for doing something nice for the baby,
Right.
and
Well,
she's just being a witch about it. I'm like,
well,
oh.
I mean, she was all hateful. I just don't like the way that you're, you know, taking care of that baby. Well, it's a baby and you don't want it to cry.
Hmm.
It's not like, the baby, we know this baby cries a lot. So yeah, I mean, I'm not known for my warm and fuzzy for babies. I'm not. But even I would do things to make it quiet.
Yeah, like, let's entertain the kid so she won't be screaming bloody murder the whole time.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, okay, so another scene that I did like, but I also found slightly annoying at the same time, which is what I've been doing this whole episode. They go into, the bunker. And of course, they're in the same tube that Alicia was in.
Yep.
And then, of course, it collapses again.
Again. Well, she did say it was unstable before the whole thing started, so,
Right.
heads
Yes, she
up.
did give that little warning. And they were literally gonna just die in there. Like, fuck it, we're done. Until they realize, oh wait, I am pregnant. We can't
Right.
stay in here. We're getting out.
I'm like, that
It's
was,
okay, girl.
yeah. Apparently that Baby Mo wasn't enough of an inspiration. Their
I
own lives apparently weren't enough of an inspiration.
I know.
I'm also gonna say again, because science doesn't make any difference on this show. But any pregnancy test that sits as long as apparently it's been in her backpack will show positive.
Oh no! What if she's not pregnant at all?
I'm just saying. I mean, again, on this show, none of that makes
I mean,
any.
let's be honest. They're all probably expired anyway
Yeah,
because they're not making any more of them.
no, but yeah, it even says on the box, if test sits for more than, I think it's an hour, disregard results will always show positive, or some wording of that nature. But yeah,
And she didn't even look herself. She
no,
didn't know
she had no
either. So
idea.
she put it in there and just been carrying it around.
Yeah, for we don't know how long.
Hmm.
Yeah, Cleo wants to know where she got a pregnancy test in a nuclear apocalypse. Well, they have it out scavenging, and she did say she
Yeah.
went to a pharmacy.
Yeah. Or
But
maybe the sub had some. There are
right,
women on there,
yeah.
maybe.
So, but yeah,
Hmm.
like I said, I mean, just that test sitting as long as it did, it would show positive. Period.
Hmm.
Because that's how those tests work. Because it's the longer the urine sits on it, the more it tricks the hormone detector into thinking that it's positive.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So they're only accurate within the first hour, and they recommend that
Yikes.
you look. I think there's like a 10-minute time frame, and for most of them, and it'll tell you what the optimal time to look at them is. So
Wow. It wouldn't have been as impactful without the stick to look at.
exactly, you
So,
know, couldn't have her wait.
uh,
Couldn't have her waiting until she was, her belt didn't fit no more.
yeah, like,
To
oh,
let her
wait a
know.
minute, what's wrong? Why am I
Yeah.
gaining weight? She knows she don't eat food.
Right.
Like, uh, well,
I
they're
mean,
all hungry, right? They're all
right.
supposed to be hungry.
And again, I mean, for her going, well, it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, but you're under a lot of stress. You're not getting enough to eat. You're not getting enough to sleep. You're not getting enough sleep. You're stressed out. These are all things that will trigger a missed period. So, yeah, we might find out next episode she really wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
But of course, this is again the show, and I mean, they disregard the whole reality thing. But I was watching that whole scene, going, "You moron! Did you not read the directions?" You know,
No, what directions? What directions? She's just gonna use the test and throw out the directions.
that's right. I mean, she didn't even have it in the box. She just had it slid in that little plastic, or the little, you know, wrapper
Yeah.
thing.
So I'm curious, do you think now that Alicia's back, and of course now she seems again that she is, confident that people should follow her, as she says at the end, follow me. Okay. All right,
Mm-hmm.
girl. Do
We're
you
going to
think
Oz.
like what do you think this is going to look like? Because I mean, she felt like she was returned to her confidence last time, but she's been wandering around.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, when
it
she went off to go call people in, she was all full of piss and vinegar, going, "We're going to do this."
right,
Now it's, we don't have enough. And here's the
right.
thing: she was even saying that, not knowing that they'd gotten more people. You
Yeah, she
know,
didn't even know, yeah.
and Morgan's going, "We got more people. Doesn't matter. Still not enough."
'Cause she don't
And
wanna do it, that's an excuse, and he's
mhm,
basically called her out.
yeah,
It's like, "Why are you dragging your feet? What are you doing?" So
yeah.
I am
Now,
curious now that she's, like, back in that, in her feeling herself again, will she fall again? Or
yeah, I think so. Well, here's the thing: I've seen. Okay, so I did see the previews for next week.
mhm.
All right, so apparently Alicia goes in the tower alone for a one-on-one confrontation with Strand to, I don't know, plead her case. Shit, I don't know. So, and then they have another scene where everyone's kind of milling around, going, "She's been in there an awful long time. What are we gonna do?" I don't know. something, jump the barrier and break in a window. I
You
don't know.
said
It's an
something.
office building. It's not Fort Knox.
Right.
And again, why are they fighting over an office building? It's not like there's not other office buildings that they could take. They really wanted an office building.
And like you said last week, they could just leave.
Right.
Morgan just left. They could just leave. But
They
yeah.
all know at this point, okay, that the only reason for them to stay at this point is the people they have in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But we also know that there's a boat. And there's not a lot of these guys anymore either. We know that. Okay, so with the whole big group, they had what, 20 people heading off with Alicia? And in the tower, we've got what, maybe 10?
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't use the one woman's boat, if they're on the water, there will be boats somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't believe any of the missiles hit water. The map that they were, that briefly displayed all showed land hits. So going out of the water honestly makes the most amount of sense anyway. If they can get their people out, there's no need to take that stupid tower. Just let the people they want to go with them to go with them.
Go find a cruise ship or a yacht.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't get a cruise ship, but honestly, any kind of sailboat,
Mm-hmm.
they want a sailboat. Catamaran would be the best, but any kind of sailboat.
I don't know how picky you can be.
Right. That's why.
No.
Well, the reason I'm saying sailboat is because you need, we're at sailboat or rowboat because otherwise you can't control it.
Yeah.
And catamaran is just if you could find one of those because they're almost unflippable.
I feel like if they do go back on boats, like the group, if they go back on boats to some capacity, it's going to feel like we're thrown back in time
I want them to be pirates.
to the early days. The early days of this show. Or were you watching it when they were on the boats? When they were
No,
on the yacht? Okay.
no.
All right. Because they were already on a yacht. Like, I think it was the first season
I
when
do remember. I do when
it
they
was
first met
Strand's
up with
yacht,
Strand. He had
actually.
that
Yeah.
yacht, and right. Remember it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I stopped watching shortly after that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but again, a yacht like that would be worthless at this point. Like you have to have something with a sail. I wouldn't mind seeing all of them get on a decent sized sailboat and become pirates.
The Abigail.
Not real,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
Ari matey.
I don't know. Maybe they can find some gas somewhere. You know how on The Walking Dead they just find gas everywhere. So
Yeah, they
they,
do.
they just come up with some gas.
Even though all the gas is inert at this, which should logistically be inert at this point.
Lisa, suspension of disbelief.
I know. It's
Who
amazing I watch
cares?
anything at this point, isn't it?
Well,
You
I
know,
mean, I understand. Like when you think about things in a very scientific way and like how things work. Yeah, no, barely. A lot of shows have a lot of flaws with
oh
them.
yeah.
So
And honestly, I do tend to pick these shows apart more because we're talking about them. So, there's an in-depth discussion and all the little things that have, going, that's not right. Why are they doing that? That was stupid. You know, I get to share with people.
yeah. I wonder how dumb the writers feel when they like hear podcasts like this or read articles like on Forbes or TV Line where they're just being trashed to high hell for
Yeah.
the plots and stuff. I wonder if the writers feel bad on the show or they're like, screw it, we're doing what we want. We don't care.
Oh, I did have a giggle, and it was a very morbid giggle on this episode.
What
So
is it?
last week, I had that whole rant about how are they feeding the horses? Why aren't they dead?
Yeah.
And they had a dead horse on this episode. I'm like, that's how they all should look.
There's one. There's one that's dead.
That's how all the horses should look.
Oh.
I'm a bad person.
I can't. I can't with you. Oh God.
Don't go
Who?
to the movies with me, guys.
Uh,
Don't do it.
oh Lord. All
So,
right. Oh my gosh.
but yeah, I mean, so yeah, like I said, so Alicia now has her troop of 20. Her little army there. They're gonna go take the tower.
As they
And
march off with feeling.
yeah, and the thing of it is, honestly, it really wouldn't take much to take the tower. It wouldn't. I mean, with the walkers gone, that means they can jump the barricades. And if I had been them, truthfully,
Hmm.
I would have waited till dark. Because even though Strand will turn that stupid light on, and he will, we know he will, um, it'll take a while for the walkers to shuffle back in.
Yeah, they
It,
move slow.
it's not like they're gonna be like, you know, running towards this tower.
Right.
So I would wait until it was dark, or at least in you know where the sun would be in their eyes, and attack from the side where the sun's setting,
Hmm.
so it's hard for them to see, and then jump the barriers and take it from the bottom floor up.
Hmm.
Because it wouldn't be that difficult to cripple them at this point, seriously. So they
Yeah.
we know that they depend on the elevator. They can sabotage the elevator from the first floor.
Yeah,
you
and
know
but the one thing they did have going for them that they don't anymore is, they had the couple of people from the original group that were like the resistance, right? But they've all
mhm
been snatched up and thrown somewhere.
mhm
So they're
you
being
know
watched like a hawk if they're not locked away
right.
somewhere.
But again, by taking the main floor, they can sabotage the elevator. They can make it down to the sub basement, which is, they know how they're getting moving people in and out. And that there's not like the full contingent of you know rangers or whatever down there. They take the bottom floor, so people can't get in and out. They can't use the elevators, and they have someone on the basically staking out the entrances on however many floors they can get, and then they wait them out. If they
Just
can't get
start.
food, if they can't get in and out, they've got all their horses, they've got whatever supplies they have down there in their exit bay. you know the fight will have to come to them, and
Well,
they'll
we
have the
know they
advantage.
won't do that because that's too logical. So,
I know. I'm just saying. That would be a good game plan. What they're going to do is going to be something idiotic. Like Alicia going in alone to have tea with Strand.
oh, I know. I would not drink anything. Hopefully, she doesn't drink or eat anything. I wouldn't trust him.
I wouldn't either.
So I am curious, you guys. I know you in the audience have already seen next week's episodes. Will we like it or not? Tell us, will we like next episode or not? You guys are usually good about those guesses.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I'm like, I kind of want to watch it tonight, just to see the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I'm probably going to. Oh, Karina says we will.
Hmm.
So, also, I want to address something Cleo said when apparently about my horse comment. She said that was pretty nasty, Lisa. I know. I did say I'm a terrible person. Okay, I just I did say that. But that's how all the horses should look, not just that one,
Yeah.
because it's an apocalypse with radiation.
Oh God. Let's. You guys. Okay. I think we're about done. What do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, but Karina says watch tonight. Definitely watch, and we will
Okay.
like it. So, all right, Karina, I
I
might.
will watch it tonight. I'm gonna get off of here and go watch it because that's all I can do because my internet doesn't like me apparently. So I'm gonna go download the show and watch it
There you
offline.
go. We could do that. I might do that too.
Yeah.
So,
Good
alrighty,
deal.
guys.
All right. It's been fun. Thanks for hanging out with us live. We appreciate you for being here. If you are listening to the replay, and you are still listening to the sound of my voice, I appreciate you for being here as well, listening to the entire episode. Please hit the like button before you leave and subscribe on whatever app you are listening to us from. And we will see you guys next week. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.